What is up, Finesse family? Hopefully, you guys are all having a great day today. Hopefully, everything is going well with you guys. And you guys are ready to have this conversation in this stream. So, once again, guys, you've seen the topic. We're talking about substance abuse and mental illness, and this is in reference to um, Master P's daughter. Um, Passing. And so that's kind of the lead of this conversation, how we are having the discussion. Guys, if you're coming in, make sure you guys hit the like button on the way in. Also, too, in the chat, guys, let me know, can you hear like the light music in the back? I'm trying something new. So let me know if you can hear anything in the background. Let me know if you can hear me well. If you are new to the channel, welcome, welcome. My name is Mrs. B Finesse. Bonjour, hola, good day to you. I'm Mrs. B Finesse of millennialfinessemindset.com. And I use my background in psychology and criminal justice to teach and educate you on how to have a mindful mindset. And mindful mindset is just you being cognizant and to have an understanding of your surroundings and what people choose to do or say, and to get a perspective, right? And then the finesse mindset, and finesse means to faithfully innovate, to inspire, to be naturally effective, and to seek success every day. That is my goal daily, and I'm hoping that that is a goal and something you can use to move forward in life, guys. So once again, we are called the Finesse family here. And if you are new here, welcome to you. Welcome to you. All right. Also, guys, I want to give a shout out to all those that donated yesterday, super chatted to the stream. Thank you. Thank you. It is much appreciated. To those that do buy me coffee, super chats, and every other way to support the stream. It's appreciated here. What we do is we use that and put it back into the channel for the equipment and everything that's needed to run the channel smoothly. So you guys, I appreciate you very much for that. Thank you guys so much. So we're going to get straight into this topic, guys. I have some information about Master P's daughter passing. Her name is Tatiana. And we're just going to get into the conversation of substance abuse and mental illness. If you have been through this, or you have a family member that has been through it and you want to cover and discuss it, the floor is free for that. It's kind of like an open mission, so we can have this discussion and open platform to free let you guys speak. Right. So once again, make sure you guys hit that like button on the way in. Sharing is caring. And thank you to those that did go back and comment on the streams that you forgot to, or you missed those on this restream. Make sure you guys go back and comment. It is much appreciated. And let's get started, guys. All right, guys, let me get this up, see if you guys can see it. All right, give me a second, guys. Let me get Okay, cool. So you can kind of hear the music in the background, right, guys? Let me know if it's too loud. I guess it was too low earlier, so you couldn't hear it. So it's kind of a little vibe going. All right. So once again, guys, let's get started. We are, if you don't know who Master P is, you've probably been under a rug, right? I guess this was Master P. I don't know, guys. Let me know. I think he was like in the 2000s when he came out. But anyways, this is him right here, rapper Master P announces his daughter has passed at 29 and says substance abuse is a real issue, right? So we're going to have this discussion. It says Master P announced the passing of his 29-year-old daughter, Tatiana Miller, in a social media post on Monday. So she passed on Monday, right? It says Master P, whose real name is Percy Robert Miller, shared on Instagram that the family's experiencing overwhelming grief. Okay, get to this in a second, guys. There we go. It says he did not disclose her cause of death, but revealed she was struggling with substance abuse. It says mental illness and substance abuse is a real issue that we can't be afraid to talk about. Hence this conversation. He said, with God, we will get through this. So if you guys didn't know, his daughter was on the TV show, I think it's called Growing Up Hip Hop. So she's actually been on TV. And also they said she did a movie. Let me see if I can find that. It says in a different post, it says the No Limit Records founder. So if you guys didn't know, his record label was called No Limit Records. Founder reflected further on his daughter and posted a photo of them together. He says, life is too short, he wrote. Give your loved ones their flowers while they're alive. And that's super important too, guys. And I like to do that, especially on re-encouraging the subscribers and the people that view, letting you guys know I appreciate you. And I thank you for all the support from the very beginning. Because once again, without the support, where would the content creator be without the viewers? So I always want to give you guys that shout out too. So let's peruse through this, and we'll kind of break down what happened leading up to this, and then have the discussion with substance abuse, what it looks like when we break it down in the different demographics and the age groups. And you guys are going to see it's really interesting what different age groups and races are addicted to, right? All right, so let's give me a second, guys. Let me get. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Oopsie. All right, so let's go into what you guys see. All right, so here it is. It's Master P. And it says a rapper and hip hop executive said his daughter had passed. It says a music mogul whose real name is Percy Miller, that's his real name, wrote in his post that his family is dealing with overwhelming grief over the loss. He said, we respectfully request some privacy so that our family can grieve, he wrote. We appreciate all of the prayers, love, and support. Mental illness and substance abuse is a real issue that we can't be afraid to talk about. With God, we will get through this. And then he put hashtag my angel. Says he later shared a photo of him with his daughter. And then he says, here's the full post. He says, life is too short. He wrote, give your loved one their flowers while they are alive. Hashtag TYTY, love you, miss you. Hashtag God got us, family over everything. So we see Master P has some type of understanding and belief that, you know, he's leaning on God for this. So that's good that he has some substance to what he's going through, and the anguish of it all. He's trusting that, you know, God's going to help him. It says Master P's son, Romeo Miller, 32, who is one of the rapper's 9 children. So he has 9 children, if you didn't know. And an actor and rapper who goes by the stage name Romeo, also shared his grief over death of his sister. So here's his daughter. They call her Tati or Ty, I think. And it says, we appreciate all of your prayers. This is from her brother and support. Although it's sad times, I'm forever grateful for the memories I did have of my amazing sister. He says, love on your loved ones. Life is short. The silver lining, I know she's in a way better place and finally at peace and free. All right. So let me get into, here's some different reports, guys, of what they were saying. It says, Master P has an emotional message after the tragic passing of his daughter. It says Master P has enjoyed a successful career in the rap industry, according to the hip hop scriptures. It says the star was born with the name Percy Miller, but later adopted the name Master P. Just some background on him. It says he reached the peak of his career in the late 90s, early 2000s. So I was close. I said 2000s. releasing several hits like Bourbons, Grab the Wall, and I Miss My Home is according. Master P is a proud father of 9 children, right? And one of his kids, which is Percy Romeo Jackson Jr., is also known as Little Romeo. Says the mogul seems to have a close relationship with his kids. In a February interview with Entertainment Tonight, it says Romeo gushed over how amazing his dad is. And that's one thing, guys, too, that when you watch that family, you can appreciate that he does love all his kids and he takes care of all his kids, and he always kind of uplifts his kids all the time. And I believe Master P is either separated or divorced from his wife, and I believe all 9 children are from the same lady. Let's see. He says this is what Romeo's saying for his father. He says, my pops, the world may know him as Master P, the mogul. And I always tell people having a strong father figure makes the biggest difference. And we all know that's true. Hey, Titanium, hopefully you're having a great day today. Let's see, let me get back to this. He says he told the outlet, adding that the way his father acted growing up prepared him for life. All right. He says he also compared his dad to a famous Disney character, the Lion King. He said, it's the movie I relate to most because my dad is my Mufasa right here. He told the outlet he definitely looks up to his pops. And guys, to be honest, all the times I've seen Master P with his kids, they always talk accolades of him, and you always see him with his kids a lot of time. It says sadly, tragedy struck the family with the passing of Romeo's sister. Now he is speaking out, right? So let's get into some more. Okay. Guys, how's the background? Can you guys hear the little kind of vibe going on in the background, the music? Let me know if you like it or not. Put a 1 if you like it, 2 if you don't in the chat, so I know you guys can hear it. It says Master P is dealing with an unimaginable loss. The rapper took to his Instagram to share his heartbreaking post about his daughter. It says that he uploaded an image of an angel and accompanied the post with some news that they're dealing with the grief and loss of his daughter, Tatiana. He said a few hours after his initial post, he shared a photo of himself and his daughter stating life is too short. As I mentioned before, guys, it's super important that you let people know how important they are to you now. And I try to do that every stream. I try to let you guys know that you're appreciated, that I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad that not that you're just that you're here, but that you super support the channel by sharing the information, by commenting, by liking, and being consistent. And it's super important that you let people know how important they are to you. I don't know if you guys have noticed, even in the news and just society, it's so many things going on, guys. So many deaths, and look at the what just happened in Texas with the little kids. And then they just said, I was looking when I was about to go live, there's something else happening. Oh my goodness, what city was it? In Tulsa. I don't know if you guys seen that. Let me know in the chat if you see what's going on. But something happened in Tulsa. I don't know. Something happened in Tulsa. Just it's going on right now. I just seen it. And so and then all these people running up on people and using weapons and deleting them. It's just so much going on. So you really need to tell people how much they matter to you. And let stuff go too. Some of you guys got beef with people from 10 years ago. You're mad at your mom and your dad. You're mad at your brothers and sisters. Listen, these times are coming upon us, and you need to let things go. I didn't say forget it. I said let it go, because you don't realize, like, in the blink of an eye what can happen to somebody. And really, when you think about whatever it is you're holding on to or whatever you're mad about, you're going to find that, guess what? You know what? I'm mad about it, but guess what? I can get over it. I can really let it go. And we need to do that. And that's why I like having these conversations with you guys, because I've seen, even with a lot of the Finesse family, a lot of your perspectives have changed. A lot of your understandings have changed. Your mindsets have changed, because you guys are listening to these conversations, and they're open conversations, they're fluid conversations, and you're getting understanding, which is the important thing to me. Not that you agree with me or agree with anybody that comes up on the panel or anybody that's talking, but that you get understanding. So I mean, that one hit me, the part that they said that you need to give people their flowers, because you guys know I'm a super proponent of that, telling people how much you care about them. All right. Hey, M Mills, hopefully you're having a great day. She says good afternoon, everyone. Hey, Peter, hopefully you're having a great day. He says salute to you in the chat, Mrs. B Finesse. Once again, guys, Peter Investor M, he actually is a channel member. So consider joining the channel. It helps support the channel. It helps grow the channel with the support you give. And once again, guys, it is something where you get extra perks, extra messages, insightful things to inspire you guys throughout the week. So consider joining the channel. The join button, I believe, is somewhere at the top of the channel. Let's see. All right, guys, so let's keep going. Alrighty, and this is what was important to me, guys. It says mental illness and substance abuse is a real issue that we can't be afraid to talk about. He also included the hashtag #MyAngel at the end of the post. A few hours after the initial post, he says life is too short. He also reminded his followers to give their loved ones their flowers while they're alive, adding family over everything. As of this writing, no further details have been released about the cause of the death. And that was this post. I believe this was this yesterday or this morning. This post was. Another thing I appreciate about Master P is he always put his family first. He always did. He always uplifted his family and his kids, and they were on the precipice of everything he did. He involved them in his community, his business. And I always appreciated that about him. And I always appreciated that he always openly talked about, God and how his family has been blessed. It said it didn't take long for fans to flock to Master P's comment section and send their prayers. I'm here for you. Stay strong. That was Snoop, and he says, I'm sorry for your loss. May God cover and comfort your family through all. All right. And there was another report, guys. Okay, where was that one at? Once again, guys, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you're sharing. This will be a good conversation to have about substance abuse. Okay, let me get into this next one. Give me a second, guys. All right. All right, so let me share this screen with you. Okay, so this one is an article, and it says the untold truth of Master P's daughter, Tatiana Miller. So it kind of breaks it down. Some of you that haven't seen her or don't know about her. Let me bring this one up, and we'll kind of go through who she is and why people know her, and what she dealt with from her father's perspective. All right. So let's share. Once again, guys, as we're doing, I'm getting the screen up. If you haven't, make sure you go back and comment on the videos that you've seen, but maybe forgot to comment on. All right. Much appreciated to all you guys that did go back and do that yesterday. Okay, let's see if you guys can see it. Here we go. All right, so here we go, guys. All right, so it says Master P is grieving the loss of his 29-year-old daughter. The New Orleans native took to Instagram to plead for privacy for him and his family, obviously. Once again, he says, we appreciate all the prayers, love, and support. He says mental illness and substance abuse is a real issue that we can't be afraid to talk about. With God, we can get through this. I know, like I said, guys, I don't know if you've seen her, you remember. I don't really watch Love and Hip Hop and all those different shows that much, but she was on, I believe, Growing Up Hip Hop is a show. And they said she was on that, I believe, back in 2016. It says Tatiana's brother, he penned a heartfelt message about his sister. He said, we appreciate all the prayers. And he says, I'm grateful, forever grateful for the memories I did have with my amazing sister. Love on your loved one's life is short. It says the entire family appears to be close on the TV reality show Growing Up Hip Hop. So that's what the show was called. It was called Growing Up Hip Hop. So it is no surprise that they were hit hard by this. It says TMZ reported that Tatiana was found unresponsive in her home in San Fernando Valley in Los Angeles, California on May 28, 2020. Although a cause of death has not been reported, Master P mentions of mental illness and substance abuse. And has resulted in speculation that Tatiana's ongoing substance abuse played a role in her passing. Her struggle was well documented in the episodes of Growing Up Hip Hop. So if you watch that show, you seen that she had an issue with substance abuse. And so it was brought up in that show and mentioned in the show, right? It says details of Tatiana's rather private life have surfaced or passing. This is the untold truth of Tatiana Miller, by this article's perspective. I believe this is Nikki Swift. It says, if you, and this is important too, if you or anyone you know is struggling with addiction issues, here's a helpline. Visit the Substance Abuse Mental Health Services Administration website, which is SAM AHSA National Hotline. I'm sorry, 1-800-662 help 4357. Make sure you guys, if you're coming in, share this content. We're gonna have a discussion about this. Make sure you guys hit the what is it? The poll. I want to know if anybody deals or has dealt with substance abuse in families. And it looks like it's a split almost even. From what I see now, I see 43% of you said you have. I said, does anyone have a close family or friend that struggles with substance abuse? 43% says yes. And then 57% say no. So this is almost, a split, dead split, right? All right. Once again, guys, if you just come in, hit the like button. We're talking about the issues of substance abuse. Once again, if any of you have a story or you want to be open and frank and discuss this so other people can get help, also too, to know that they're not the only people going through this, I will drop the link and you guys can come up. Hey Wally, hopefully you're having a great day. He says salute Finesse family. All right, so let's keep going. Once again, guys, if you need help or you need assistance, you guys can call the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. Go to the website or call the national helpline, 1-800-662-HELP. Right? So here she is. Pretty girl, so pretty. Tatiana Miller's family tried to persuade her to go to rehab. So the family was already very aware of this. And see, this is the thing, guys. There's different types of people when you're dealing with substance abuse. You have people that are kind of functional with their substance abuse as far as their addiction to methamphetamines, over-the-counter medicine, alcohol, and they're just functioning, right? Which means they can go to work, they can still tend to their family, they feel like everything is okay because they can still do what they need to do. And then you have people that are, kind of just overly lascivious, where they just, go off on a tangent. They do things that they shouldn't do. They treat their family bad. There's, extremes to this, right? So it says Tatiana Miller's family tried to persuade her into rehab. Beautiful girl. Here she is. It says, as previously mentioned, Tatiana Miller's family often touched on the topic of her substance use on Growing Up Hip Hop. During season 2 of the show, Master P and Romeo Miller attempted to persuade Tatiana to check into a rehabilitation facility. Sadly, the reality TV star explained she felt she could recover on her own. And see, this is the issue too, guys. If you know, those are the half of you here that have a family member, or you've dealt with somebody close to you with substance abuse, a lot of the times they really believe that it's not as big as what it is. And that's the sad part about it. A lot of the times also too, if they don't, and this is the principle on anything, when you're dealing with somebody that's an abuser, you're dealing with somebody that has an addiction, you're dealing with anything cyclical, it's just like a cycle of something. If a person cannot admit, if they cannot admit to the thing that they're doing, it's never going to change, and or that person's addiction or trait is going to exacerbate and grow. And I think that's the biggest thing. A lot of times we enable, which means we think that because we are hiding that person's addiction, we don't want to talk about it or tell anybody, because we are participating in the addiction, which means we try to lower ourselves because we blame ourselves because the person's addicted. We try to believe they're going to change, so we don't say anything to that addicted person because we don't want them to be mad at us. Those type of things are very enabling when you really have to deal with the root, right? And a lot of times, guys, when people deal with addictions, it's very deep-seated things that go back to childhood, years, depending on how old the person is, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, right? So it's something very deep-seated that needs, people have to get sometimes more professional help, right? Hey Jeff, hopefully you're having a great day. Thank you for being here. All right, so let me reiterate once again. If you just come in, make sure you guys hit the like button. Wow, okay, so I'm looking at the votes. It's updated. It looks like it's a perfect 50-50 split. So the poll says, if you haven't answered the poll, go ahead and do it. Do you know anyone, family or friend close, that is struggling with substance abuse? So once again, with the Finesse family here, this is up 50%, right? So that means that 1 out of 2 of you guys, you know this. So this is a big issue, and I'm going to break it down, guys, because I got some analytics to this, so you can kind of see who this affects, what race, what age, so we can see the true gravity of this, because this is an important topic. It's not salacious and it's not the gossiping thing, but most people are dealing with this, and they're the ones that really need to be here listening to it. But guess what? We're going to keep trudging on, right? Because this is an important topic that needs to be talked about, right? Once again, it says to her, this is her. So she's on Growing Up Hip Hop, and it says, previously mentioned, Tatiana Miller's family often touch on the topic of her substance abuse on Growing Up Hip Hop. Season 2 of the show, Master P and Romeo attempted to persuade her to check into a rehab facility. Sadly, the reality TV star explained she felt she could recover on her own. Her brother and father made it clear that they were concerned about her well-being. I mean, this is what Master P's saying, and I quote. He says, I mean, you say that, TT, or Tai, but on the serious side, I think we should get some professional help just to make sure you stay on track, pleaded Master P. And those of you, that 50% that know you have that person in your life, family, or friend that has substance abuse, a lot of times it's like you have to plead with them to get them to even make that choice. And a lot of times the reality of going to rehab is them admitting, and this is why a lot of times people with substance abuse will not want to go to rehab, because it's like something inside their heart and spirit that's admitting that I have a problem. And it's like when they admit, they know they have to break away from it. So it's scary for them, and they rather just not go through it and admit it than deal with it. Because you guys know, and this is not even substance abuse, this is us as human beings. When you really go face forward and deal with the issue, that crap is sometimes backbreaking. That is it's so much an enduring thing to deal with the issue, that a lot of times you'll push it to the side and just go about life or act like you don't see it. And to an addict or somebody addicted, it's on an extreme level, right? As if it's its own person or being. And that's kind of how it is with that person. It takes over them, and it's like a part of them, like a person, right? So understand that it's way deeper than you telling a person to stop. Once again, it says Tatiana's brother Romeo also chimed in about his friend's experience with substance abuse. He says, seemingly hoping the antidote would resonate with his sister. I have friends that have been, this is Romeo talking, through this, and it takes 2 years of being completely sober to really be like you can walk away from this, he told Tatiana. The young woman's struggles were addressed again in season 2 when Romeo and Master P confronted her about failing to reply to their text message. I think when people hide that they have a problem, they'll never overcome it. That's key right there. This is who was saying that? Master P said this, and I quote, I'm gonna read it again. He says, I think when people hide that they have a problem, they'll never overcome it, the record label executive said during the episode. And this is another thing, guys. A lot of people, like I said, they're functioning addicts, and they can hide it so well that you can't tell. But a lot of times when you're dealing with something like a substance like alcohol or whatever, you can kind of smell that. Sometimes you can't really hide that one. But other things, unless they kind of have a tick or they're doing something that stands out, they can hide this stuff. And it says, I think when people hide that they have a problem, they'll never overcome. That's what Master P's saying. He says, after a stern conversation about Tatiana's behavior, the concerned father requested she take a drug test. All right, so this is on the episode, right? Once again, guys, if you need help or you know somebody that needs help, the helpline number is 1-800-622-HELP. Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration website is there as follows. So she pursued an acting career like her father. So if you didn't know, she did acting also. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me bring this up. Okay. So it says Tatiana Miller had aspirations of becoming um, an actor prior to her death. The young woman had already begun her promising journey to stardom by earning a role in the 2017 film A Mother's Choice. So she actually was in a film, guys. Okay. The film was called A Mother's Choice. She starred in the drama alongside her sister, Atilia Miller. If you're a fan of growing up hip hop, this probably doesn't come as a surprise. It's clear the talent runs in the family. And I know, like I said before, guys, Master P, he's one that he's going to bring all his children in his businesses. He wants the best for them. You know, he strives to motivate them and also help in their endeavors. You know, I have seen that when he does talk and come on different interviews, he talks always of his kids highly. It says Tatiana's rapper turned business mogul father, Master P, has dabbled in acting himself. And I know you guys know Master P. I know you know some Master P movies, guys. Don't act like you don't. It says he's a list of credits like Girlfriends. Master P was on CSI New York. And Moesha. It says the rapper spoke about his passion for acting during an interview with Offbeat magazine. He says when you get to a certain level, you want to bring projects to life. He explained. For me, it's almost like being two different people. I can go be a businessman on one side and come back and utilize my acting skills and my fan base, just feeding them. All right. He says Tatiana likely had her father to turn to for acting advice, giving his years of experience. If you didn't know, Master P made many movies, right? And he produced them himself. Because he said, I think he was mentioned that he went to the production companies, but nobody wanted to take a chance on him. He says, it says her brother Romeo Miller shared that he benefits from his father's guidance when it comes to balancing his career in entertainment with his multiple business endeavors. Growing up watching one of the best and most powerful businessmen to ever do it guided me to the man I am today. So he gives much respect to his father. That's awesome. So here's it says her mother faced hard times. So guys, if you didn't know, Master P had divorced or he separated from his wife. Again, all his children are by this lady. I believe this part. It says by now you know that Tatiana Miller is the daughter of the legendary rapper and executive Master P. The late actor's mother, Sonia Miller, was also a rapper. I didn't know that. Did you guys in the chat know that? His wife was a rapper. I didn't know that. It says Sonia went by the stage name Sonia C, but she retired the persona when she became a mother. All right. So Sonia didn't have the easiest life. As she says, her marriage to Master P was difficult. She said, at what point will the public look at me as a woman who was shit on and left to fend for herself with 7 kids while my husband lavished his life with the spoils of the industry, she asked, revealing some of the hardships of her past relationship with the rapper Master P. All right. Let's see. It's like Tatiana, Sonia has also been affected by drug use. So her mother allegedly had a drug use problem too. It says, according to the mother's interview with Patch, it has been rumored that she struggles with addiction. These allegations gained traction when Master P claimed that Sonia abuses drugs. However, she claims that she's only ever observed her loved ones misuse drugs. As far as drugs like crack, I grew up in the projects. Crack was everywhere, Sonia explained. And see, once again, this kind of like a cycle, right? One person in the family does it, and if that next generation does not stop or does not actively pursue to not continue this addiction by using the alcohol, using the drugs or whatever, it will cyclically happen in families, right? Because it's passed down kind of through genes, guys. So you have to definitely be careful, right? Yeah, Wally, pretty much. Transfer of the disease. Yeah, pretty much. That's why, once again, we have to be careful of the things that we do, especially before we have children, guys, because you don't know what's kind of in your DNA or what can be passed to them, right? So you have to be cognizant of that, right? They're a reflection of you, literally and physically. Sonia says, I have family and friends on crack like everybody else. She says, as for her life after divorce, Sonia has gone through a couple transformations. She revealed she's enrolled in Pepperdine University to study theater and journalism. The mom also began writing a book and pursued a modeling career in reality TV. Did not know that. All right. So this is kind of background about this family. Tatiana Miller's struggles were documented on Growing Up Hip Hop. It says Growing Up Hip Hop follows the lives of children from prominent families. It says in addition to Miller's family, it had Damon Dash, Vanessa Simmons, Joseph Jr., and other faces that you may be familiar with. It says Tatiana's struggles were explored with Bill Maxine starting to intervene. For what Tatiana was not one of the show's main prominent. I think it's the show a couple years back, right? Oh yeah, so here we go. It says Master P and Romeo exited the show to focus on entrepreneurship. The father and son said their departure during the interview at the Breakfast Club. Romeo says, I've been in the show business for 19 years. And if you didn't know, Romeo has done like a lot of movies too, guys. He says, it's not the money, he insisted. He says, I'm the highest paid on the network, which is Growing Up Hip Hop. He said, I had to walk away because I can't sell my soul for money. Interesting. He says, I can't sell my soul for a storyline. It's fake drama for no reason. So, wow. Somebody actually on the show allegedly admits that the show is, he says, he continued to reveal Growing Up Hip Hop isn't as authentic as viewers might think. He says it's not about the money. He insisted I'm the highest paid on the network. I had to walk away because I can't sell my soul for money. Can't sell my soul for a storyline. It's fake drama for no reason. And you guys know, if you've been here on the shows I've done, I talk about that a lot, right? I talk about how people will do anything for the money, will do anything for the clout, for the views, for the subscribers, and to what avail? Because my whole thing is, okay, if you keep doing something and your heart, especially if your heart is not in it, to get people to like you, to get people to watch what you're doing, at what point do you lose yourself, right? So you have to be cognizant of that. You might do some other topic or do some other subject line and get all the people coming, viewing, going back and forth, arguing with each other, whatever, right? But then what is that proving, and what is that doing to help move things forward, right? So you have to always be cognizant of that. Do you want the people to like you, or do you want to make a difference and be compelling and profound and to be transcending in a sense that people will remember you for something, right? And once again, sometimes it might take you a little bit longer because you don't go the easy route everybody else does, but it's substance to that. So once again, and it's just the type of person you are. Do you appreciate substance, or do you want it quickly? And a lot of times, people say, like, especially when we're talking about those that haves and the have-nots, a lot of people, instead of just kind of buckling down, finding what you want to do, and then going through it, you want it the easy way. You want it quick. You want the money. You want all the lights and glamour. And if you ask those people, especially people with a lot of money, a lot of them are not happy. Literally ask them, if you know anybody with money, ask them, are you happy? And they will tell you they literally don't know why. Even though they keep pursuing money, keep pursuing fame, keep pursuing whatever, they're literally not happy. And even a lot of people on YouTube, I keep showing you guys the receipts on this. A lot of these people that have been on YouTube for years, 5, 10, 15 years, they say they get sick of it because, especially if they're doing something they really don't want to do or love, they get tired of it because it's kind of draining. It's you're kind of running for that high or whatever that thing is, hypothetically, figuratively, and you're never fulfilled, right? And if you're a fulfilled person, you don't care about all that stuff. You don't care if you stay here or not, if you like it or not, if you subscribe or not, if you come or not. You keep putting out that positivity into the atmosphere, and you keep regulating the negativity, which means I don't believe you go around smiling and you're happy all the time, because that's not life. But you pick and choose your temperament. You pick and choose how you want to move through life. And I think that's a reflection on other people when you do that way and you move that way, and it's sustainable, right? So I'd rather have 10 people that always come here than have 100,000 that are just kind of voyeurs, and they're not really here because they want to be. They just want to see what drama's about to pop off, right? So that, to me, that's an ethics thing, and everybody doesn't have that, right? It is what it is. But when you can walk in that honor, like somebody like a Romeo, that Romeo's been in movies and in TV for a long time in his life, but once again, he said he was getting paid money. He could have just stayed on the show and faked it, but he said, no, I'm not about to sell my soul for money or a storyline, right? So that's interesting to see, people actually in the business say that. Let's see. M. Mills says, my stepbrother became paralyzed, high on crack, and jumping on the hood of a moving car, fell, oh my goodness, and broke his. He was only 30. My goodness. You know what? Before I forget, if you guys want to come up, talk, tell your story, tell your story, help somebody. Because I think the thing is, guys, a lot of times, the shame of it all makes people not want to talk about it. And once again, you don't have to say family members' names. You don't have to say anything of that. But I think the whole ideal of the people that don't get seen, which are the family members, the friends, the ones in the background that are trying to inspire, encourage, praying for your family and friends that have these substance abuse, your story. Because we really always hear the story of the person that abuses these things. But the people in the background, what are they going through? How are they? Also, from their eyes, how it's affecting them and the relationship. I think it's super important. And I appreciate you, M. Mills, for telling your story and not, being afraid to, let people know what you've been through. Because that crack epidemic, I think that was the 60s or 70s, that messed up a lot of families, especially circular families with the men and the woman in the household because of the drugs, right? So thank you for giving your story, M. Mills. And then once again, if you want to come up in Mills and talk about it, I did put the link out. Hey, Ine, hopefully you're having a great day today. Thanks for being here. Let's see. Emil says he broke his back. Good grief. Man. That's horrible. And then, like I said, and guys, if you really think about it too, the person I think that goes through more than the person abusing the substance are the people that care for them. Because one, that person is actively and soberly dealing with the stress of it, dealing with the stress of trying to protect them, dealing with the stress and anxiety of every day. Is it going to be a good day or a bad day? They're dealing with the stress of the embarrassment of it too. Like, what does that look like when we go out? Are they sober today? Are they not? There's so many things that the person has to deal with that loves somebody that has a substance abuse issue. All right. If you didn't know, Master P had 9 kids. There's some of her siblings. Let's see. And it says, Tatiana's sister. Is a spy musician, SoundCloud. Okay, so it looks like a lot of Master P's kids are musicians, right? All right, so let's go into some data because I do want to kind of break this down to you guys so you can see what the data look like. Because when I read this, I was like, it's pretty interesting. All right, bring this up screen so I can go back and this with you guys. All right, share screen. Oopsie. All right, share. Once again, guys, make sure you guys hit the like button. Sharing is caring. And if you have not gone back and comment on videos that you haven't seen, especially those that are on this restream. Share. All right, so here we go. All right, guys. So you guys know me. I always try to pull this data so you can have an understanding. All right. All right. So what was interesting to me, guys, I wanted to find what the data was on this and how this is broken down between like races and age groups. So let me get this up. All right, so here we go. So basically, guys, this is a breakdown and a study for I think almost it's about almost 6 years, right? And this is the National Surveys on Drug Use and Health. And it's presented for the past years through illicit drug use. So they're breaking down illicit drug use, alcohol use, marijuana use, methamphetamine use, and prescription pain relievers and fentanyl from people of age 12 and older, right? It says following each figure with overall averages, and these figures presenting estimates of the use and misuse, right, by racial and ethnic groups, by other correlates, gender, age groups. And the estimates allow you to examine ethnic and racial differences, right? So it says the estimates are presented for white, blacks, American Indians or Alaskan Natives, Native Hawaiians, and other Pacific Islanders, Asians, Hispanics, and people that are reporting of two races. So, those are people that are, what are they? I guess we'll call it mixed with two different races. So let's look at this, guys. So here, right? So this is illicit drug use from people over 12. And the average of people that use the most drugs are right here. If you see, it says 2 or more races. So these are people that are mixed with multiple races. The next group that's the second highest is American Indian or Native Alaskan. That's interesting. Why do you guys think that they're the second highest? American Indian or Alaska Native. Why do you think they would be the second highest for illicit drug use? I want to know what you guys think in the chat. What's your hypothesis on that? Okay, it says, so you guys know what we're discussing here. If you're just coming in, hit the like button. I broke down the backstory if you didn't know about Master P, his daughter, dealing with substance abuse and mental illness, mental health. That is the story. And then the lead to the education part of this and the teaching part is I'm breaking down so you guys have an understanding of how deep this goes in different genders, different age groups, different races, and what this looks like with all of us as far as family members and friends. I'm looking at the data again from the votes, and it looks like we have, yes, 44% of you said that you have a close person, family, or friend that struggles with substance abuse, and 56% say no. So right here it says Asian people have the lowest estimate of the past year of illicit drug use compared to overall. It says estimates of the past year among people 12 or older. It says that American Indian or Alaskan Native people, they have almost 30% drug use, illicit drug use. All right. Now let's break this down into man and female, right? So let's look at African Americans, right? So it says 25% of the drug use is from male. So if you look here at the data, guys, men are using illicit drugs in the African American or Black community more than the women. The men is 25%. Women is 16%. So men is almost, looks like, what, 30% more, 20% more than women. When we're looking at mixed race or two races, 30% are men and 26% are women that are using drugs. And guys, listen, let me tell you something about data, good data, not just data to prove your point, but data that from studies that proves at that snapshot in time what the outcome is. It's super important to see this, right? Because we need to have an understanding moving forward how this shift is going to change even more. When we're dealing with people that job losses, we're dealing with the C-19 and everything that happened with that. We're dealing with the Great Resignation, people leaving jobs. Nobody ever talked about the big issue might be people leaving jobs would be mental health and substance abuse, right? Because of them being at home, being encapsulated by themselves for that almost year. And when you're by yourself, guys, that's really when you see your true nature. This is why a lot of people don't like being by themselves. That's why they jump from relationships to relationship, girlfriend, boyfriend, or even keep having kids, things of that nature, because they can't be to themselves because they don't want to deal with the ugly truth of who they are, right? Yeah, Wally, this is crazy. It is. He says probably the herbs they use that possibly links to some form of substance abuse. And that's what I was thinking too, Wally, when they said the Native Alaskan or Native American, Asian Pacific, whatever, I was thinking that too. That's kind of the synopsis I came 2. All right, let's look at this data some more. All right, once again, if you just come in, guys, hit that like button. Sharing is caring. Also, make sure you guys are commenting on this stream and other streams you missed. All right, so it says males reporting 2 or more races had a higher estimate in the past year. So it says 31% than males in all other racial ethnic groups except American Indian and Alaskan Native. It says estimates in the past year of illicit drug use were higher for females reporting 2 or more races. So that's interesting. So could we make the connection to maybe the ideal of not connecting to a certain race and or both races, saying you're too whatever, you're too white, or you're too black, or you're too Asian, or you're too whatever race. When you have 2 races together, the dichotomy of figuring out which race do you belong to, and then everybody pushes you away. That could be a hypothesis. That. So let's see. So the highest is 2 or more races with illicit. The men are higher than women, and it looks like on all these stats, white, black, Native American, Asian, the men's drug use is higher than the women's, right? Only person is here. It's almost equal with the Native Hawaiian and the Pacific. The men and women are equal. So something's going on there with them. You can tell with the data, right? So if we're looking at this to the age group, when we're looking at the white people, illicit drug use is higher in 18 to 25 year olds. That's almost half. African Americans, same age group, 18 to 25. It looks like every group, the highest is the 18 to 25 year old. Can you guys speculate? Why do you think they're the highest? 18 to 25 year olds, I already know in my mind why they're the highest, but why do you guys think that 18 to 25 year olds are one of the highest groups for drug use in all races? It looks like. Let's see. It says estimates show among young adults aged 18 to 25 was highest for young adults reporting 2 or more races compared to the estimates of everybody else. Yep. It says among adults aged 50 or older, the estimate of past year illicit drug use for adults reporting 2 or more races was higher than the estimates for adults in all other racial ethnic groups except American Indian and Native American, Alaska. All right, so now we talked about that was illicit drug use. Now we are into alcohol use, right? So this is alcohol. Yep. That's what you're right, Wally. The college lifestyle is the reason why that 18 through 25 would have the more use. And also think about, guys, the music and social media and TV. What is projected all plastered around the media, around social media and the music, right? It is praised to be strung out. Every song is about you being lucid and high and I'm so gone, or let me end my life, like all kind of crazy stuff in the music, guys. So yes, so 18 to 25, we can estimate or project that the reason why could be, the lifestyle of being in college and or the music. Let's see. Emil says they are just becoming adults and are experimenting. Yep, that too. As far as the tolerance level and seeing if what it feels like, because a lot of people, guys, when they did a poll and study, that a lot of people started using drugs and drinking and substance abusing because of peer pressure. It's not really because they wanted to do it. They did it because other people around them were doing. Big brother, big sister, maybe in the house, mom and dad went to sleep in a drunken spell, so you can go to the refrigerator and get the alcohol, whatever. So, a lot of times that's peer pressure. So now we're going to look at alcohol use, right? So we just did illicit drugs. This is alcohol use. So if we're looking at this, guys, look who is the highest. Can you guys tell who is the highest from alcohol use from age 12 or older? Interesting. Let me see if you guys can examine and understand the chart. Who is the highest? What ethnicity from alcohol use? Says, let's see. The estimate of the past year, alcohol use was higher for Hispanic people than for Black, Indian, Alaskan, Native Hawaiian, and Asian people. So it says Hispanics was higher. But the highest group, okay. Let's see. I'm still waiting, guys. Who's the highest for alcohol use, substance abuse? Let's see. Wally says, "Yep, your garbage wrappers are the drugs that poison the minds of kids." Yeah, and to me, that is basically the biggest one. Is social media, the music, and what's on TV that made that group, the 18 to 25-year-olds, use drugs so lasciviously. And it's perpetuated to be that it's something good to do, right? Wally says, "I see high blue but can't tell." Okay, it's white. So that's Caucasian people, right? So Caucasian people, they're 70%, guys, from age 12 and older. 70% of them were alcohol. They abuse alcohol. So it says an estimate of the past year, alcohol use among people age 12 and older was the highest for white people, 70% compared with the estimates for all other races. And then the next race is the mixed people, 2 or more. And then let's look at the African Americans. We are 1, 2, 3. We're the 4th highest for alcohol use. 4th highest, right? Now let's kind of break this down between genders, men and women. Wow, this is super close. When you look at white or Caucasian with alcohol use, white men and white women, it's not even a percentage difference, 2%. So they are highly abusing alcohol. White people, it says, right? When we look at Black or African American, it is 58% men are abusing alcohol more than women, slightly by, I say, about 3% difference. The biggest race difference, when I'm looking at this chart, the biggest race difference looks like it's almost equal with a 10% difference. American Indians and the Hispanics, as far as the men and women, there is a 10-point difference between those two groups, which is interesting. Very, very, very interesting, guys. And it's important, guys, when you got to look at the data. You got to look at the data, and you need to know, especially in the different families and the different cultures, how we deal with things. And when the people that are here at the Finesse family are all races and cultures, Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, every culture on here, Native American, Hawaiian, they're here at the Finesse family, right? Men and women. When I look at my analytics, I think it's like 60% men, 40% women, or something like that. So it's almost a split in analytics here. And the people are from everywhere that come to Finesse family. They're from Canada, they're from Africa, they're from Germany, they're from the UK and the United States. So it's a plethora of different, cultures of people that are here. So these analytics are super important, guys. Hey, Big Bad Bull, hopefully you're having a great day once again. Plug Big Bad Bull, he is a channel member. So if you guys would like to consider joining, go ahead and join the Finesse family channel. He says, Mrs. B Finesse, hello to all the ladies and Mills and Nay, peace and blessings. Let's see, Wally says, yet they will say, we are the ones so far gone. This shows a different story. Okay, Wally, remember, I'm breaking down different things, buddy. So the first one, Wally, was illicit drugs. Now we're doing alcohol. I'll try to break down the fentanyl, the over the counter. So this is broken down by that specific substance. That's why I love this study. It's not just bulking everything together in everybody, which a lot of people do when they do talking points. They don't analyze the data because they don't know how. And it's cool if you don't know how. Just admit that. Don't just take a blanket data point and say it's everything, because that's not how data works. You have to analyze it. And so this is alcohol. So when we're talking about alcohol, Wally, yes, Caucasian people are extreme with alcohol abuse, right? And let me see what you guys are saying. Let's see everybody saying hi. Big Bad Bull's getting everybody a shout out. Let's see. He said, yes, thank you, Big Bad Bull. Sharing is caring. Please take a moment to share this stream right now. Support a sister. That's what I'm talking about. Support a movement, right? This isn't just me. This is all of us. And you guys know, like I said, we keep seeing what's going on in these quote unquote YouTube streets, the salaciousness, the arguing, the bickering back and forth. And I'm giving you guys good content and data and breaking it down. I'm not just talking. I'm educating and or teaching. So you guys have something to take with you that you can learn and move forward, right? And even have talking points with your coworkers, your family members, your friends, because this substance abuse thing is growing in rapid propensity. And I don't think people understand that because they're hiding it and suppressing what's going on in their families. And I'm checking the updates, I'm looking at the votes, and it looks like we're back to 50-50. 50% of you guys say yes, 50% say no, as far as do you know anyone close that struggles with substance abuse, right? So once again, we have whites. It looks like they're like a point difference. Well, then this is alcohol abuse, right? It says Asian females have the lowest estimates of alcohol use over the years. So when we're looking at it, as far as demographic, it doesn't look like the Asian culture uses at least illicit drugs and alcohol. Okay, so we're breaking down different substances. Remember that, guys. This isn't just all the substance abuses together. So if you're just coming in, we're talking about substance abuse, mental illness. We're taking the story of the sad passing of Master P, aka Percy Miller's daughter, Tati. She passed away Monday. And he openly talked about that his daughter struggled with substance abuse. His son Romeo Miller talked about that his sister struggled with mental health and substance abuse. And they also brought this up on live TV when she was on Growing Up Hip Hop, I believe in 2016, 17. So this was an open discussion that this family had and brought to the world, right? And so now we're kind of breaking down the analytics of this by race, culture, and gender and age. So when we're looking at alcohol use, guys, among people that are 12 and older, it says that in the white race, 26 through 34-year-olds are the highest that use alcohol, at 80%. In the African American race, same age group, 26 to 34, are overusing alcohol. To be honest, I'm looking at the analytics, and that is an age group for every race. So alcohol use is highest and more prevalent from 26 to 34-year-olds. And you would think this would be maybe teenagers, but it's not. So the overuse is the highest in the age group of 26 to 34-year-olds in all races, right? In the African American race, the next biggest group that overuses alcohol is older generation, 35 to 49. So alcohol is most prevalent in the 26 to 34-year-old. The next in African Americans is at 35 to 49. In whites, the highest is also 26 to 34. And then the next one is equal. It's equal in the white race between the 35 and 49-year-olds and 18 to 25. That's very interesting. Huh. All right. Indian Americans, big gap between the 26 to 34 and then 35 to 49. And Hispanics, it looks like it's almost equal, same like the white race, between the 18 to 25-year-olds and the 35 to 49-year-olds. Interesting dynamic. While it's saying, yeah, I know, yep. Yeah, if you guys want to come up and join the conversation, the link is in the description. Feel free. But yeah, we're gonna still have the open dialogue because I know a lot of times people just kind of feel that this conversation is very, very close and personal. And it takes really strong people to come up and talk about these things because a lot of times it has devastated many families. So a lot of people kind of, it pinches a nerve to talk about this. So I understand that. It says among adults aged 26 to 34, white adults and adults reporting two or more races, which are the mixed races, had the highest estimates of past year alcohol use, right? And it says the estimate of past year alcohol use for Native Hawaiian or Pacific Island adults in this group was similar compared to estimates for their Black, Hispanic, American Indian, and Alaskan counterparts. Interesting. That's super interesting, guys. Now we're on marijuana. Okay, this is a difference. So the first one we did was illicit drugs. We just did alcohol abuse with drugs. Now we're doing marijuana abuse, right? From ages 12 and older, in race and ethnicity. Sorry, guys. So the highest guys with marijuana use are mixed races. That is interesting. So these are multiple races: Black and white, Black and Asian, Hispanic and Black, white and Hispanic, so two races means just mix of two, right? So it says the estimate, the highest is mixed races, and the next would be American Indian. and Alaskan for marijuana. And I think many people would just make that connection because, Native Americans, they just grow up using marijuana. So that's a connection they might have, right? Let's see what it says. It says Asian people had the lowest estimate past year of marijuana use. And let's look at African Americans. So African Americans for marijuana use, we are we're third highest. We are the third highest. And then whites are below blacks from this study. So it goes 2 races. It goes American Indian or Alaskan Native, Black, African American, and then white that overuse marijuana. What do you guys think of that? Do you agree? Well, I mean, it's a study, but I mean, were you shocked about that is my question as far as marijuana. So we know with alcohol, whites abuse that the highest. And then with illicit drugs, mixed races abuse at the highest, right? And now with marijuana, the mixed races abuse marijuana the highest. All right, so let's look at gender. When we're looking at marijuana, the highest person again is the mixed races, and the men outdo the women with marijuana. It looks like in every race the men totally outdo the women. The biggest gap is with the blacks. Interesting. So the biggest gap of marijuana use with men to women, with men almost doubling what women do, is blacks with marijuana. Did you guys know that? I mean, did you conceive that could be true? From this study, it's saying that black women use half as much marijuana as black men do. Interesting, right? And then it says whites, the breakdown of the men and women, looks maybe about 20% less. It says a pattern of past year marijuana use by race, ethnicity varied from males to females. Males reporting 2 or more races had the highest estimate of marijuana use. Estimates of past year marijuana use were higher for females reporting 2 or more races. White females had a similar estimate of past use compared to estimates for Black and Native American females. And once again, the Asian females have the lowest of all races. And so if we're looking at marijuana use by the age group, guys. Wally, why? Wally? Why are you not surprised that the black men are almost double what black women use for marijuana? Let me know. Or you can come up to Wally if you have time before I finish off the stream. Let's see. So it says, let's look at rate. Let's look at ages, guys. All right. So when we're looking at the age group, ay, Dios mío, interesting. So I want you guys to guess first. Which age group do you think uses marijuana the most? It might be obvious to some of you, but I want to know what you guys think. In the chat, do you think it's white, blacks, American Indians, Asians, Native Americans, or 2 race or Hispanics? What age group out of all these groups uses the most? Do you think it's 18 to 25, 26 to 30, or 35 to 49? To me, when I look at this data, this makes sense to me. Because once again, I work around young adults and teenagers. So, oh crap, I might have just gave it away saying that. So anyways, yes, it says the biggest group with the marijuana use from 12-year-old and older is 18 to 25-year-olds. They're the highest with whites, highest with blacks, highest with American Indian. They're the highest in Native American Pacific. But the next group that's like a percent later, after with the Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islander, is a 26 to 34-year-old. They're super close. Asians, 18 to 25 is the highest. 2 races, and Hispanics, super high. Almost double with Hispanics than the 26 to 34-year-olds. So yeah, to me, that's more so partying age, the age people would experiment. Okay, we got somebody coming on up. Let me bring you up. We got Wealth Talk Production. Hey fam, what is going on? How's your day going? Good. So I want you to just kind of elaborate to me from what you've learned and heard so far, was it stuff you agree with the new Wealth Talk production? Was some of this data shocking to you? What's your perception?
Well, I would
I
say
would
that
say
it was
that
a
it
little
was a little
tough
tough
because they would
would
usually
usually
promote
promote
that
that
it's
it's
us
us
that's usually mostly drugged up,
drugged
or
up, or
in most cases,
in most cases,
situation.
situation.
So the fact that
The
you hear
fact
it
that you
now,
hear it
it's
now,
like
it's like,
okay, yeah.
okay,
So we
yeah.
ain't that
So
far
we ain't
off
that far off
damage.
No, we're definitely fixable. Well Talk production. I mean, we're definitely not far gone, and that's why the data is so important. Because when you see it and hear it, you can use it to move forward and perpetuate. Were you shocked, Well Talk, about the the alcohol percentage? Who was the highest? Did you think it would be the white race or not?
Honestly, yes.
Honestly, yes. And tell me why. What's your assumption or hypothesis to why it would be the white race that has the highest alcohol use?
Well,
Well,
in most cases, I say like this.
I say like this.
Like, okay, how can I put this? Okay, I'll put it like this. Now you would think when it comes to situations where alcohols are, right? Like if it's near the club or in certain situations like that, most cases you think to yourself like, okay, we probably black, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is in that situation, like, okay, you look at the price points and everything else, and then the situation of because my thing is this, right? 9 times out of 10, people that are really alcoholics, they would really have that at their homes. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So now you have to really say purchasing power to have a boatload of alcohol. My thing is mostly that's usually with the pale people.
That's actually a good point, because the way I would have thought about it too, Wally, Well Talk, Wally, the way I would have thought about it too would be like that age group, because they said it was 18 to 25, and them being in a situation of being in college or coming right out of high school and wanting to be the rebellious, and then in college is the fraternity parties, the parties period. In that age, you're sneaking off at 18 to go to college parties, even though you know you're not old enough. But your perspective is excellent, because I didn't even think about it that way. When you're talking about wealth and having the means to get to it, a lot of people they have access to it because it's in the house, and sometimes their parents don't care as long as you're doing it in the house. I've heard parents say that as long as my kid drinking in the house or smoking in the house, I'm okay with it because I can watch them.
Yep. Supervision part.
Do you think that's flawed to say that, or you think that that's actually safe?
I say it like this: if you're gonna be the one watching, that means you're automatically, measuring how much they take in. You're not just letting them drink just to drink.
Mm-hmm.
So there's certain points. You do it. Like you won't keep drinking wine unless it was a dinner situation.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're drinking you're drinking just to drink, now that you gotta minimize that stuff. So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I'm gonna break through some of this. So the first thing we talked about illicit drugs, right? So that was the first one. And if you're coming in this room, I want you guys to understand we're not just saying all drugs together. The study that I have in the report is a breakdown, so we can see as far as race and culture and age group, what is the biggest thing that is being abused, and then from then we can help as we're looking in our society and those around us. We can be paying more attention to what's being used, how it's being used, and where it's being used, right? So illicit drugs was the first one we did. The next one we talked about was alcohol. We're talking about substance abuse. Now we're into marijuana. We broke that down. The next thing we're going to talk about is methamphetamine. right? So this one, WTP, this one was low as far as when we're talking about methamphetamines, right? So we're looking at the data here. There's not a lot of use in methamphetamine, right? And so the highest one here, again, American Indian, Alaskan Native. The next is almost a half drop. The next person or group is the two races, which is, mixed people. And then if we're looking at us, we are the lowest. When we're looking at Black or African American, we're the bottom two of Asian, right? So we're not really overusers of methamphetamine. American Indian and Alaskans are extremely overusing this. We're looking at it by gender. With the Blacks, once again, very, very low, but the males look like they're almost double, Black males and females. The biggest jump is, once again, between the men and the women of the American Indian. Huge jump. The group that's the closest is a Native Hawaiian. They're like almost exactly the same. Just very interesting, this data. It says Asian and Black females have the lowest estimates of the past year of methamphetamine, both less than 1% compared to estimates of females of other groups, right? So we don't really see Black women using a lot of methamphetamine. And let's look at the age group here. Good grief, WTP. So when we're looking at the whites, the age group that's the highest is 26 to 34-year-olds. When we're looking at us African Americans, we're kind of all the same. We're kind of equal, but the highest would be the 26 to 34. But when you're looking at these American Indians, look how high that is. Theirs is the 35 to 49-year-old. Why do you think that is? Just speculating. And the next is the 26 to 34. So they're older generation.
Honestly, what I was gonna say was that's really more have to be over with the herbs.
Okay.
Because I know there's a lot of I know saying if you deal with herbs from Indian, there's a real psychological thing. Like I guess if you ever seen shows or movies of it, like stuff, like if you ever take things in, it really put you in a trance. So I don't know if that's really when you do any of that stuff, really like sort of the same thing, but it just slightly different or something. And then but that's how I see it.
Okay. All right. Let's go into the misuse of prescription. So before we even look at that, WTP, who you think is the highest? I can't show it. Who you think is the highest on prescription? Prescription painkiller.
Highest.
What's your guess before I show it? I'm not gonna show you. I'm gonna see what.
Yes.
Chat. I want the chat to guess too. Who do you think is the highest, chat, on over-the-counter drug use?
It should be two races at least.
Okay, what two?
Whites or blacks.
Okay, whites and blacks. Okay, let's check and see. Okay. Oh, shout out to BTH for coming a new channel member. Thank you for that. Once again, guys, consider joining the channel. And thank you, BTH, for supporting the channel and becoming a member today. So let's look at that and see. And guys, everybody, once again, that supports the channel, it helps with the channel and equipment and everything that we do here. So thank you guys for all of those that support it and continue to support the channel. Come in, watching the channel, hitting the like button, sharing it. Appreciate the Finesse family always. Thank you guys for that. And thank you, BGH. So let's misuse of prescription painkillers. Let's see if you're right, WTP. The highest is the mixed races. They're the highest, right? Okay. So this is mixed, black, white, black, Asian, Hispanic, black, white. So these people have at least two or more races mixed. And the next highest is American Indian and Alaskan. Hey, that's interesting. So, and then under them is Native Hawaiian, Pacific, and then white, and then Hispanic, and then us, and then Asian. So when we're talking about prescription painkillers, we are second to last among the races. We are second.
There you go. See?
So when we're talking about pain, can we make the correlation? Do you know why could you, and this is to the chat too, can you guys hypothesize why you believe African Americans are the second slowest when we come to prescription pain relievers? Why are we not that high? And it's kind of the same idea you were saying, Wally. Why do you think?
When it comes to the prescriptions part?
Yeah, we're second to last. And think
I mean,
about
let's be honest. Well, the only way for you to get prescriptions is only on two ways. You can get it legally or you can get it unlegally, right? So in most cases, black people can barely even afford Medicare, let alone to get them. So nine times out of 10, you're getting under the dark side of the spectrum. Do you even have that much by them? So
excellent hypothesis. Excellent. And to me, in my head, that's how I put that together. This is, we're talking about a wealth thing here. So when we're talking about prescription pain relievers, unless you have some type of maybe a government provided medical provider, prescriptions get into the hundreds, even thousands. So we're looking at this in the sense of seeing that African Americans, and you're looking at the wealth situation. That's why they would be super low as far as prescription pain relievers users, because being able to afford these, unless, like you said, while they're under the table type situations, right? And it says estimate of the past year prescription pain reliever misuse among people age 12 was the highest for people reporting 2 or more races. Estimates, it says Asian people had the lowest prescription pain reliever misuse. So in all drugs, they're the lowest Asian race, right? Let's see, when we're looking at males to females, there's a big drop. So men have the highest with the whites, with the black, with the American Indian, with the Asians, 2 races, and Hispanic. But ironic twist, females overuse prescription pain relievers when we're dealing with the Native Hawaiian and the Pacific Islander. That's interesting. I wonder what's going on there, why they have so much access to these prescription pain relievers. If you just come in, guys, hit the like button. We're kind of analyzing the data on substance abuse, what it looks like for each type of substance and drug. We're looking at the data for race, ethnicity, and age group. And it's really interesting because the projections and the stereotypes that we assumed from the data analyzing is a lot different. This is why you have to look at the data, because a lot of times people just talking outside their heads, right? It says male reporting. Go ahead.
I'm sorry about that. No, because what I was going to say was, the interesting thing is, as they say, painkillers. I wonder what pain are they really going through, because for that to be that high, that's amazing. Because that's a very interesting situation. Because my thing is, where's that pain coming from?
Exactly. Is it some accident? Is it something for cognitive depression, stress, anxiety? Like, yeah, that's actually a good way to kind of analyze it too. WTP. Where is it coming from? Is it from a physical thing? Is it from something cognitive, like in your mind? Are you dealing with stress, anxiety, depression? That correlation, yeah, that's super important. Because that's a huge gap. That's almost double too. The females almost double what the males do as far as the misuse of prescription drugs, right? And then when we're looking at it by age groups, when we're looking at whites, 18 to 25-year-olds overuse the most. When we're looking at the blacks, it's very close. It's 18 to 25 is almost like a point, a tenth of a point of the 18 to 25 and the 26 to 34-year-old. And to me, if I was going to hypothesize the misuse of prescription pain relievers, that would be that whole dichotomy of watching music, looking at the rappers and all the people talking about the codeine and all those different things, and being in that lucid state of wanting to be under the influence. I can see why that age group is so close, 18 to 25, 26 to 34. It looks like with the American Indian, it's hugely the 26 to 34-year-old, and every other group looks like they're pretty close with 18 to 25 and 26 to 34. Now we're looking at fentanyl, okay? Now this data, when you see data like this, guys, this means that it is almost a nonity. Okay, my bad. Let me see. In Mills said some Native Americans live in poverty and they have low tolerance for alcohol. Thank you for that. Okay, good synopsis. And that's probably why they would be using it a lot. Yeah, that's true. That's true because of even where they're living at, the reservations and land is not upkept like it should have been back when they were tilling and taking care of their own land. So we're looking at fentanyl, guys. Look at the data. There's hardly none. When you see something like this where it's like low, you don't even see a bar, it means it's not even almost enough to calculate data. So when we're looking at the misuse of fentanyl, since the estimate of past year fentanyl product misuse among ages 12 and older was higher for white people, tenth of percent than people of all other races and groups. So the people that use fentanyl the most were 2 or more races. Hispanics and whites are exactly the same. And basically, the data was so low that the blacks, the Asians, Native Americans, and American Indians, there wasn't hardly enough data to track to even give it a percentage. But fentanyl use is high among whites and Latinos. Interesting. Good grief. Right? Not even enough data to break it down, but it looks like with fentanyl use, it's almost equal if you add all the races up and average it. But with whites, it's equal. Blacks, more men use fentanyl than women. The American Indian, more women use it. Native Hawaiian, more women. Asian, it looks like no Asian women use fentanyl. The Asian men use it. And Hispanics, it looks like more men use fentanyl. Interesting. So basically, if we're summarizing this, guys, it says white people had the highest estimate of past year alcohol use compared to with people of all other races. This pattern generally held true across gender and age groups. Estimates for past year illicit drug use, on the other hand, were higher for people reporting to more races, which is, we call that quote unquote mixed race, and American Indian and Alaskan Native American people than for people in all other racial ethnic groups. This pattern also held true across gender and age groups. A similar pattern was seen for specific drug classes, including marijuana, methamphetamine, and the misuse of prescription pain relievers. Across all alcohol and drug classes, Asian people had either the lowest or one of the lowest estimates of the past substance abuse compared to the estimates of all the ethnic groups. Right? So there you have it. There you have it. Once again, let me see. WTP, is there anything you wanted to give as far as some closing call to action here, or anything you wanted to add, or anything you were shocked about this data, or just something you want the people to hear before we round off the stream?
Yeah, here's this one. If you feel like take drugs, automatically put yourself in a situation where you have to start calling for emergency help, like psychiatry, whatever it is. Because if you're gonna start using drugs, you're really just hurting yourself and everyone else around you.
Excellent call to action. I mean, and the thing about it, WTP, is so prevalent. It's one of those things that we just don't talk about. And my thing is, even if one person is doing it, that's one person that we need to have this discussion to try to move forward to help. And once again, WTP, it's something that it's something that, as far as like alcohol use, drug use, all these things, conversations that are super important we need to have, instead of arguing and doxing each other and doing all this other stuff that's going on allegedly in the YouTube streets. You guys know I don't know, but I think the whole issue with Master P and his daughter, and I love the fact that he did not hide it. Even when he was on these TV shows, he didn't have a problem with hiding what his family was struggling with, because I know he knew that in the end he could bless and help somebody else, and that's the whole purpose of this stream. To just have the conversation, make it something that is illicit and known, make it something where we could talk and have an open platform to where everybody could be understood and heard. And looking at the data again, I'm back at the poll. It says that do you know anyone in the family that's close that struggles with substance abuse? And it's half and half. So it looks like for the most part, most people have dealt with this issue. Most people know what this looks like. And it's just something we need to continue having this conversation about, and people need to feel comfortable to have the discussion and ask for help. Because it's super important too, guys. I'm trying to find, once again, guys, make sure if you have any issues, contact that hotline. I'm trying to see if I can find that hotline information that I think it, let me see if I can find it.
Let me at least say this, right? Let me at least say this.
WTP, you said something? I can't hear you.
Yeah, I know I did, but I stopped because it started glitching. Yeah. Yeah.
Where? Oh, here it is. Or anyone you know is struggling with addiction. You're going in and out, WTP. I couldn't hear you if you said something. It says
yeah,
if
I
you
know.
or anyone.
Yeah, I know.
It says if you or anyone you know is struggling with addiction issues, help is available. This is what WTP was saying. It says visit the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration website, or and it's SAMHSA. Type that in the Google search, it'll take you there. Or call the national helpline is a 1-800-622-HELP, which is 1-800-622-4357. All right, guys. Once again, thank you for coming up and speaking on this. Is much appreciated. Thank you, BGH, for becoming a channel member. Thank you guys for always supporting and being here. And once again, guys, make sure that you guys share this information, because this will help and bless somebody. All right, guys. So with that being said, you guys are appreciated, Finesse Fam. Thank you guys for the super chats, the support, the cash apps, all that. Thank you guys for that past week too. Make sure you guys go back and comment on the streams. I would appreciate that much. And that helps in the algorithm also when people are looking at the streams and coming through. And other than that, guys, that is it. You guys have a great day. Once again, keep this conversation going. And this is me, Mrs. B Finesse of Millennial Finesse Mindset. And you guys have a great day.
Where you found this?
Huh?
So where you found this? Where you found this information?
This article?
Yeah.
Okay, give me a second, buddy. Let me put the top. This research, here it is. So it is from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. So the helpline that you would call for help, this is their study. And they did this for about 5 years, from 2015 to 2019, right?
Can you copy the link? Can you copy the link?
What'd you say?
Can you copy the link?
Yeah,
can you copy the link?
Yep. Let me put it in the chat, buddy. Sure will. Put that in there for you guys. Paste. There we go. All right, guys. So it's in the link, guys. I'll try to make sure I put in the description. And once again, guys, have a blessed day. How did you like the music in the back? Is it too loud? What you think about it?
I'm okay with it.
It's a vibe. I'm gonna try it. All right, then, you guys have a great day. See you guys.